Hello and welcome, everybody. See if we can see everybody. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody who's joining us. There we go. Yeah, everyone's starting to pop up now. Wonderful.
Is this, so you're on?
Hello, is that you, Tony?
Oh, there I am. Oh, good, I'm on mute. Can't hear him.
Yes. Hello, Debbie. I can hear you.
Hi. Oh, you can hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
I've got to go silent. Let me go silent.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone, for joining me on time. I'm just going to give everyone a couple of minutes here while I sort out the live streams. Wonderful. Thank you for joining me on a Saturday morning. We have Azumi and Debbie and Helen, Alexandra, Tony, Jenny, and Marie is joining us now. Welcome, Marie.
Morning, Jason.
Wonderful. So hopefully we've all been on Zoom at some stage in the last few years and we're familiar with this platform. If you have any questions, of course, do reach out. I will be...
I don't think you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Who is that?
I hope not.
I just heard someone.
I can't hear. This is... I'd like to get my photo away. I don't know how to get off video.
Is this you, Debbie?
Speakers switched on.
Yeah. But I also don't want my
Face.
face there. I don't know how to get rid of my face.
You should have in the little corner there a if you're on your phone down the bottom of the screen, just to stop video.
Is he talking?
Put the volume on.
I don't think he started.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Oh, he's talking.
Yep,
I can't
Debbie.
hear him.
Debbie, try turning your volume up. Can anyone else hear me at the moment? Yes, beautiful.
Loud and clear.
No, because I can hear him talking.
Okay, good.
But it's very soft. I can't hear him.
But before, when he could hear us, then we could hear him.
Try turning the volume up, Debbie. Everyone else seems to be receiving me okay, so it might be at your end there.
I've got to hear all those kids talking.
Beautiful.
I think it's not good. I'm turning it off. It's not good.
Debbie, if you try turning your video off, so try turning your video off on your phone, it might improve your reception.
Oh, okay.
And that might help.
I don't know how to turn my video off.
On your phone, on the...
He just told me to turn my video off. So.
Are you on the Zoom app?
No.
You should find out the bottom of the button that says stop video.
How to turn my video off? Oh, here it is.
There you go.
Now,
That might
okay, that's good.
that'll probably
But I
help
still
with
can't
the
hear.
reception that often happens when you're on a mobile network.
Mm.
Wonderful. Okay, just so everyone knows, I'm about to start recording this as well, just for those that can't attend and join us live today. So if you see a little message come up, there we go. All right, so it is under and the recording is working. Beautiful. Please know that's why we're recording it. So thank you everyone for joining me this morning on this Saturday morning, and welcome to our virtual open days. The first time we've run one of these. Very often we will run our our open days in person at our training venue, and we had one 2 weeks ago down at the Series Learning Centre in East Brunswick. But of course this year, as we're inviting students from much further afield than just Melbourne to join us for studies, it was fun to host a virtual open day to offer you all the opportunity to learn a little bit about what we offer and what we do at the college, and of course to ask any questions that you might have in regards to study with us, whether that be as part of our diploma program in our short courses or our new certificate that we're launching this year. So I do have a short presentation this morning that I'd like to go through, just to introduce us briefly at the college and what we're offering going into the new year. And then, of course, should anyone have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask me. And please don't hesitate if you have a question as we go, just to jump in and ask. You can take yourself off mute, but if you're not asking a question, I will ask you to remain on mute, just so that we are clear for everyone who is here. Now, whereabouts is everyone from today? Those of you who might be able to use the chat, can you give me a sense of where everyone's tuning in to today? There's a little chat feature on Zoom down the bottom of your phone or on your screen there. We have someone from New Zealand. Wonderful. Queensland, Adelaide. Beautiful. We have a few people from around the country. And there's a few who have unfortunately been unable to make it this morning. We have people who will be tuning in later from Western Australia and from Tasmania as well. So hopefully we'll shout out to them soon in Canberra. Beautiful. Thank you. Yes, so I would like to launch into our presentation for the morning. I'd also just like to warmly welcome Marie Crutch, who is here with us today. Marie is one of the past directors of the college and one of our trainers, who works very closely with us in delivering training, supervising our students in the student clinic. Marie is an amazing lady with a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I will invite her to speak into her experience as a Shiatsu therapist shortly as well, just to give you a sense of what it looks like when you are a graduated and practicing Shiatsu practitioner. For now, I'm just going to minimize this window. Beautiful. And I'm going to step into the presentation. So yes, please, if you do have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out and ask. So welcome to our open day. We are the Australian Shiatsu College. And of course, our focus is Shiatsu and East Asian medicine. So I thought I would talk just very briefly into what we are delivering here with Shiatsu. Hopefully most people in this space are familiar with Shiatsu. Perhaps you have received Shiatsu in the past, and maybe you haven't. Maybe you've been drawn to this open day or to our college for various reasons. Very often we will have people who join us on our in-person open days who've never experienced a Shiatsu before, but have a calling to come and explore and to engage in a new pathway and a new discovery. So Shiatsu itself, it is a Japanese bodywork modality that uses a range of techniques where we apply pressure over the body. We may be using our hands, our fingers, our thumbs, our knees, our elbows. It is performed fully clothed on a mat generally, though of course it can be adapted to work on a massage table. And we use our body weight. So it's a very beautiful modality in that it is not very demanding of the body when we learn how to use and how to move our own body and be centered in our own body as we interact with people on the Shiatsu futon. It has a long history rooted in East Asian medicine or Oriental medicine, which encompasses a wide range of traditional medicine systems. Many of us are quite familiar with the TCM, the traditional Chinese medicine, made quite popular through acupuncture and Chinese herbs. It's very well known throughout society. We share very similar basis when we talk about the underlying theories of Shiatsu. We base it in the same understanding of the body, the same understanding of the philosophy of the world around us. You may be familiar with ideas such as yin-yang theory or 5-element theory, or this concept of qi, all these wonderful things that we explore in the course of study of the foundations. But this is the basis of where we come from. And essentially the idea behind Shiatsu and the idea behind East Asian medicine is that we understand that health arises when our body and our lifestyle is in harmony with the world around us, when it's in harmony with the rhythms of the day and the night and the seasons. And so we learn how to engage and understand what the body is speaking to us and how the body interacts with all of its parts as a whole and expresses that to us in very subtle ways so that we can identify how the body is out of balance and help to facilitate the body to return to balance and thus return to a state of less dis-ease within the body, which means that then we can support people through a wide range of things, whether that be a sore neck, a sore back, or an upset tummy. So this is a brief backdrop into what Shiatsu is and where we're coming from and what it is that is our passion for delivering and bringing to the country. And we are very excited next year to be able to offer this, not just in Melbourne, but throughout Australia. Now, the college has been around for almost 40 years now. We are approaching, I think, our 39th year next year. And we're a leading trainer of the nationally recognized Diploma of Shiatsu and Oriental Therapies. So this is a nationally recognized training that works within the frameworks of the Australian training package as found on training.gov.au. And so this means that we have a framework which defines for us what it is that we deliver in education and how that is structured, that offers pathways into other courses as well. We have a lot of similar units of competency, they're called, that might overlap with a study in diploma of remedial massage or a study of Chinese remedial massage, for example. So we are one of only 2 providers within the country that have the ability to deliver this training. And we have been doing so for very, very many years. And indeed, the college has held a very central part in assisting and advising in the development of those training packages and the evolution of that training package as it has been delivered for, I think, over 20 years now as a nationally recognized training. This picture here is of our previous home. We were previously located in East Brunswick. We had this beautiful converted cotton mill. This is the building of which we were in until the end of 2022. And prior to that, we were located in Collingwood. Currently, we are located out of Ceres. So Ceres Environmental Park, which is down in East Brunswick, is a beautiful place with a bushland setting. And we operate our training from that venue. And I think there's a few photos of that coming up further down this presentation. So this year, we have moved into delivering our education through a blend of online and in-person learning. We deliver our diploma, we deliver our short courses through this format so that we can offer maximum flexibility to our students and also retain the essence of in-person training and the essence of connection between our trainers and our students, whether that be in the classroom or be in the student clinics that we offer as part of the training process. We also support our profession with a range of ongoing continuing professional development workshops. So for those who have graduated in the field as a Shiatsu practitioner or indeed also for acupuncturists or other therapists such as remedial massage therapists or naturopaths who might want to expand on their tool set. Then we offer a range of workshops and training each year to support the growth of the profession as well. So this is series, this picture. This is the meditation garden that sits outside of the learning center, which is where which is our home base of where we deliver our trainings on Thursdays and Fridays. It's a beautiful outlook as you lay there on the mats or you stare out the window and you see the bushland setting around. It really is a magical place that we're very fortunate to be able to be in. Oops, someone has just come off mute there, so I'm just going to mute that one. So yes, as we move forward into 2024, we have a few things that we have on our study offerings for people to engage and step into this path of Shiatsu and East Asian medicine. Now, hopefully a few of you've been able to download the prospectus and have a little look through that. If you require a copy, you can of course download that from the website or reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to share that with you. But I'm going to talk into each of these offerings that we have as we move into 2024. So this is our Diploma of Shiatsu and Oriental Therapies, our nationally recognized training, a newly launched Certificate of East Asian Wellness, and the range of short courses that we have on offer as well. Now, of course, most of our short courses are offered here in Melbourne, but we will discuss the options there as we step into this. So yes, firstly, I will talk into the diploma program, which is our core offering. It is the core training that we deliver, and it is what everything that we hold is centered around, which is this Diploma of Shiatsu and Oriental Therapies. This is, as I said, a nationally recognized training. And for graduates of this program, it allows them to become members of professional associations such as STAR, which is the Shiatsu Therapists Association of Australia, or ATMS or ANTA, which are multimodality associations. These associations cover a wide range of modalities for those who are also remedial massage therapists or naturopaths, kinesiologists, reflexologists. There's a wide range of different practitioners that appear in these multimodality organizations. But being a part of one of these associations means that you are able to have the ability to obtain insurance. So professional indemnity insurance as a professional practitioner is very important. Should we see health funds be reinstated for the delivery of Shiatsu for clients, then being a member of those associations will help to facilitate that. But not only that, these associations are the organizations that step at the front and talk to the government and help to represent our profession and help to obtain things like health fund rebates, etc. So our nationally recognized training automatically qualifies you for membership with all of these organizations who have their own standards about the delivery of a diploma program. And of course, we meet those and exceed those qualifications for all of those associations. Now, a diploma program is a 2-year full-time program. So typically our students will engage in 2 years of study here in Melbourne or 4 years over part-time. And for 2 years of study, that involves, 2 years of study, that involves attending classes on a weekly basis, both our in-person classes as well as our supported tutorials, engaging in online delivered material, and doing a range of home practices to develop and consolidate the hands-on skill and develop oneself as a practitioner. The journey of going through the diploma is not just a journey of learning skills and acquiring knowledge, but it's also a journey of self-exploration and a journey of personal development. Most students who join us in this program grow, I think is the best way to describe it. They grow as part of this journey that they undergo with their fellow students. They learn a lot about the world. We learn a lot about ourselves. A lot of the work that we do is based in self-reflection, reflection of our experiences of observing the world and observing our own health as well as observing the health of those that we work with and those that we practice on, and reflecting on the development of our skills and how that is evolving through the course of our studies. And of course, through that, we constantly are touching base as trainers to see, and we're constantly touching base with trainers to assess your ongoing progress and to make sure that you're being supported within this journey as much as we can provide for you. So we do deliver through a blended learning format. And what the blended learning format means is that we have some of our content in an online recorded format. So a lot of the knowledge that the theoretical knowledge that we will obtain through this diploma is in a recorded format. And this means that these videos are available for you to watch progressively as part of your learning. You can watch them, you can re-watch them, you can revisit them as many times as you like as you're undergoing the training to help you consolidate and deepen the knowledge. Those videos are supported with handouts and resources that we provide. We do provide everything that you may need. Of course, there's plenty of recommended readings along the way that you may choose to engage in, but we do aim to offer you all of the resources you need to obtain and begin integrating all of this material. We do, within those online lessons, we allow you the freedom to study at the time that suits you best, whether that's putting aside 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon or doing an hour each morning, however it best fits into your schedule amongst work, amongst family, and whatever other commitments you might have. So you have a lot of flexibility within that space to structure your study as it best suits you. And this is whether you are based in Melbourne and joining us with our weekly classes or studying remotely. Now, of course, all of those lessons that we record, we're not just going to leave you there, leave you to consume the information and figure it out for yourself, but we support everything with regular tutorials. So all of our students will engage in tutorials every week, or most weeks throughout semester. And these tutorials are going to be scheduled on Monday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30. And each week you would be changing the subject that you would be studying. And in those tutorials, we have our trainers on for 2 hours on a live Zoom tutorial for you to answer your questions, to facilitate group work where all the student cohort can come together and explore and unpack this material together, to work through case studies so that the theoretical information becomes real for us, and to reflect on our own experience and our own understanding so we begin to personalize this information. So that's how we approach this knowledge, this theoretical component. And that then, of course, is blended with our in-person learning. So we do have a new option moving into 2024 where we have this remote enrollment via intensives, which I'm going to speak into. This year, we have delivered through the blended format where we've just had our cohort in Melbourne. And so a cohort in Melbourne have been studying coming to series in East Brunswick each week and engaging in practical sessions and practical learning. So every week they will come in and they'll learn a little bit more about the delivery of Zen Shiatsu techniques or classical Shiatsu techniques. And they will join us for student clinic experiences where they will bring friends and family and start to deliver integrated treatments under supervision to help consolidate their learning. But of course, for our remote students, those that are located in Queensland or in South Australia or in Tasmania, weekly classes are not feasible. So we are offering a remote enrollment option moving into 2024. And I think I've just talked through this entire slide. This is the knowledge base content there. So yes, our Melbourne stream, as I said, would have these weekly classes. Now for our intensive stream, the intensives are based around and centered around 4 week-long intensives each year, which are based in Melbourne. So instead of coming here each week to engage in a class, you would come for a week-long intensive. And during those week-long intensives, we would go deep into the practice of all of the practical learning that will deliver the skills that you need to go home and start practicing on friends and family, and then you would come back into the next intensive and further consolidate and build upon this knowledge. So we have these dates in place for 2024. These 4-week-long intensives are for our level 1 studies. And so during these intensive weeks, the Fridays to Tuesdays, so most of them are 5-day intensives, with the exception of the final one in October, which is a 6-day intensive. You'll be coming in and doing practical classes. This is all centered around hands-on work, where you will be meeting all of the other students who are engaging in the intensive stream, whether they be from around the country or even some who may be located in regional Victoria and joining us, as that's a more accessible format for them. And you'll be doing lessons of the Shiatsu hands-on classes. Within these intensives, we're going to have some clinical experiences where you will either invite those that you know in Melbourne to come and join you, or we will help to source some bodies for you to practice on and deliver those integrated treatments under supervision. And of course, any other practical work that's also associated with your studies, whether that be works in our interpersonal dynamics, where we explore the interrelationships between people. A lot of that is work that we want to do on a personal level. So we would do those within those workshops. In the final week of level 1 for the intensives, we will go for 6 days, because on the final day there, we are going to integrate a lot of the learning that is explored about dietary therapy and lifestyle therapy and the application of these East Asian medicine principles to life through a 1-day workshop, where you would be coming together in the same space with our Melbourne-based students, so that everyone can be brought into a cohesive space. Now in level 2, of course, there is again 4-week-long intensives. That is a different format of 7-day intensives, again coming to Melbourne for practical classes and engaging in workshops on the weekend in alignment with our Melbourne-based cohort. But that's the structure of our diploma for our practical-based learning. Now, with the practical-based and the supervised practice that we have within those classes, of course, you're also going to perform some home-based practice. You have a logbook that you keep, a logbook in your level 1 studies and your level 2 studies. And within that space, you are keeping a record of the treatments that you do on friends and family at home, and treatments that you are doing also on yourself. An important part of what we learn is about how to perform self-care through the utilization of self-shiatsu and self-acupuncture points. So you're keeping a record of this as part of your ongoing practice. And for those who are working remotely and studying remotely, we want to try and engage as much guidance as we can to support your growth journey. So as you do this, you're going to find a local mentor, a local Shiatsu practitioner, someone we will help to support you to locate this person, and you will go and work with this person on roughly a monthly basis, where you'll provide a treatment and to them of whatever you've learned so far, and they will be able to help guide you with some constructive feedback to help you grow and develop your skills as you move through the course and you move through the integration of study. And then, of course, in level 2, there's a similar structure. But in level 2, we have a few more treatments that you engage in, just a slightly higher requirement there. So the question then arises for many students, and I've just tried to draw these questions from our live open day a couple of weeks ago of what is the time expectation? What does full-time study look like? So when you're studying the diploma program, typically a full-time study is going to take around 10 to 15 hours per week of your time. So I've broken it down here roughly. Now this is centered around our Melbourne-based cohort, where you would have a 2.5-hour practical class, 2 hours roughly weekly on a tutorial, 2 hours for home practice, 2 hours of consuming the knowledge content, and 2 to 3 hours of self-study or assignments. That's why I'm saying around 10 to 15 hours a week. Now, of course, for those who are studying in a remote fashion, you can remove that 2.5-hour weekly practical class, because those are engaged in within the intensive weeks that you would come to Melbourne. So that reduces your weekly commitment a little bit more, really down to around that 8-9 hours. And within those 8-9 hours, you will very comfortably be able to spend time to absorb, to integrate the material, and to practice the hands-on skills. Friends and family tend to love being the guinea pigs for your practice. So that's what our time expectations of full-time study look like. Of course, for those who are engaging in part-time study, it is slightly less pro rata, depending on where you are with your studies at the time. An integral part of learning to be a Shiatsu practitioner is, of course, practice. So as you've seen through that logbook, we highlight that students are going to study at home. They're going to practice on friends and family. But also we want to do supervised practice. We want you to have the experience of becoming a developed practitioner within a clinical environment. And so we run student clinics in Melbourne on most weeks. Now, in level 1, our students engage in 10 clinics, which for the intensive streams is condensed into 7 clinics within those intensive weeks. And for our level 2 students, they're engaging in weekly clinics. On Fridays, they're required to do 22 clinics. And of course, within our intensive streams, the way that we're packaging it slightly different for those who are remote. That is all going to be contained within those intensive weeks that you would do in the second year of your studies. Bringing the knowledge and the skills that you have into that clinical space is the way in which everything is consolidated, in which your growth is very carefully supported to become this qualified and competent practitioner by the end of it. The level 2 clinics that we operate, we bring the public in. We bring the public in who come and pay for treatments, and you deliver a full 90-minute treatment of Shiatsu, where you will have a conversation with the clients, you will establish a connection with them, and you will understand what their experience is and apply your skills of acquiring knowledge about their experience to determine what is their pattern of imbalance, and to therefore determine the treatment that you can deliver from all of the skills you've acquired in Shiatsu and oriental therapies along the course of the diploma to help to support their body and support them within their movement back to a state of wellness and balance. So this is our clinical component we have of our studies. Now, the costs for our diploma program are here and also listed in the prospectus. It's roughly $18,000 over the course of 2 years, and the fees are all paid on monthly installments. So depending on your level, you can see there's a slight variation there on the monthly installments, and we operate that through a direct debit. For those, of course, who are engaging in a level of part-time study, then that is, of course, adjusted accordingly, just based on the units that you are engaging in any particular year. And of course, we recognize that many come to us with a range of other study and life experiences. So if you do have other qualifications or other experiences in study, whether that be as an acupuncturist, a naturopath, or a medial massage therapist, then we do offer the recognition of prior learning and credit transfers for units that are equivalent and exactly the same. So with this recognition of prior learning, we will look at what studies you have, what work experience you have, how you've applied this knowledge. There's a process that we go through to attain, to understand where your knowledge is at, and that it is and a demonstration that it is current. And by doing so, then we are able to provide advanced standing within the diploma. So many might come to us with a range of experience in things like infection control and work health safety issues, or even anatomy and physiology, a strong understanding of the body from a Western allopathic perspective. And so we offer credit into the diploma, which reduces the workload and reduces the requirements for you to complete the entire diploma there. And of course, then the other end, when you've completed, there are also pathways moving forward that your diploma of Shiatsu and Oriental Therapies may open for you. This might be a pathway into studying to become an acupuncturist or a Chinese herbalist within a Bachelor of Chinese Medicine. or it might be to expand your skill set in a diploma of remedial massage. We share a lot of common units with the diploma of remedial massage, so there's an opportunity for very simple credit transfers there. So just know that if you do have an experience behind you, that we do offer those pathways. And of course, we discuss all of this within our enrollment interviews. Now, as we move into 2024, we do have limited spaces because of the requirements of the spaces in which we are held and which we deliver our training. So at this stage, we have 12 spaces available for our Melbourne cohort and 20 spaces for our intensive streams. This is allowing us to keep our classes small and manageable, and to ensure that you have the best learning experience, the best supervision within those classes, and the best support to develop your skills and to develop on your journey to becoming a Shiatsu practitioner. And so this link here, this Shiatsu diploma enrollment, is where we are opening the space now between now and Christmas for these enrollment interviews. And in those enrollment interviews, we will talk more individually into the cases and requirements that you as an individual student might have, what your pathway may be, answering any questions, and of course, identifying any opportunities for that recognition of your experience in your prior learning. And then for those who do graduate, then there is a range of opportunities open for you. One of the most popular ones is to become self-employed, a self-employed clinic owner, whether that be a small practice out of your spare room in your house, whether that be opening up and engaging in commercial lease and having a front-facing clinic. It may be working in a complementary or alternative medical health clinic, where you may work with a range of other practitioners such as naturopaths, massage therapists, acupuncturists, to help provide healthcare for a wide range of people. You may also take this work into spaces such as corporate massage, delivering treatments to people at their desks or in a space within a corporate environment to support health and wellness. Or you may work in an aged care environment, supporting our elderly, supporting our more infirm members of our society with in-home care and in-home shiatsu. And Marie has a lot of experience in this area, and I might ask her to speak into that shortly within her experience as a shiatsu practitioner. To speak briefly into the other options that we also have moving into 2024. So we are offering this certificate in East Asian medicine. This certificate is drawn from our diploma program. So within this, you will be exploring the body and diseases from the East Asian medical perspective. So you'll be studying the same content as our diploma students are from our Oriental medicine frameworks, which explores the terrain of the body, explores how the body operates, how it presents itself both from the physical, the emotional, the mental, and how that is integrated, and then looking at how disease and disorder can arise within that space. And we tie that in with the knowledge and skills of dietary and lifestyle therapy so that you can be equipped to improve your health, to improve the health of your family and your friends, to apply the knowledge of East Asian medicine to your life and to your wellness. Now, this is delivered entirely online. It is for those who want to engage in improving their own health, or perhaps expanding their offerings as a diploma of a remedial massage therapist or a naturopath, but are not seeking to do the hands-on component of Shiatsu. So this is a new offering that we have in 2024 that will last for a year. And of course, the studies that you might do with this might tickle something. It might light a spark within you to explore further. And everything you would study within this certificate is directly creditable into our diploma program should you choose to pursue that path in the future. And then we also have a range of short course studies that we have, which again are drawn from our diploma program, whether those be courses in Zen Shiatsu, which is delivered in person here in Melbourne, or the frameworks or physiology, Western physiology, which we deliver online. And then there are some other subjects which we also offer through online learning and blenders, such as our cupping and gua sha, or interpersonal dynamics, which is an exploration of how we interact with our clients, with people in the world around us, both those with who are familiar and local to us, and those who come from diverse backgrounds, be that cultural or sexual or gender diverse backgrounds. So we have a range of different course options, short course options, which again are drawn from our diploma and offer credit into our diploma for those who are just stepping into the beginnings of this exploration, but are not ready to commit to the entire diploma. A very popular pathway for these is to engage in the Zen Shiatsu and or the Oriental medicine frameworks, which is that foundational theoretical introduction to East Asian medicine. And so that's me talking for quite a while, a little longer than I anticipated there. Those are our offerings that we have moving into 2024. Now, before we move into questions, Marie, I might invite you to speak for a few minutes if you feel.
Yes, thank you, Jason. Yes, I'd love to. And hello, nice to say hello and have an opportunity to share my passion. Jason, in his introduction, did say that I have a long and passionate history with the college. So initially I came to the college in end of 1987. I have a nursing background, so I came from a Western background of medicine, and then I really found that there were gaps in what I saw that Western medicine could offer. And having spent time traveling in Asia, I became passionate about what East Asian medicine could provide. And what I loved about the option of Shiatsu was that it was a body work, but it blended all the theory of East Asian medicine. So I started training in 1988 with the college, and then took on various roles as an educator and a director, and continue as a trainer and assessor. And as Jason said, I have specialties in working with senior citizens and across also the NDIS, the National Disability Schemes, providing Shiatsu to clients with specific needs. So what are the reasons you would go into Shiatsu? Well, it is a whole lifestyle story. You can see me down here at the back at my favorite beach, staying fit, and I don't have to go to the gym because every day I do Shiatsu, and that is my gym work. So basically I go in, I'm on my futon and I'm crawling around, and that is like doing a yoga class, and it's like having a dance with clients. They love it. I feel great afterwards. Well, I tell you what, if that's not a winner. And also it's the best system of medicine. It has so many avenues. I'm a constant learner. The postgraduates that happen through the college, I'm there at most of them, because there's just this wealth of knowledge in East Asian medicine that you can just continue learning, and every different door opens another deeper aspect because it deals with the natural world and the elements. There are so many different facets to it. So it's really about a whole lifestyle choice and a way of being able to work with clients that actually is quite blissful. You know, the word Shiatsu is actually about finger pressure, and as Jason said, it provides pressure using not just the hands but the elbows and the knees, but it's also an essence of love. And so it's like providing, and some say mother's love, so it has this very pure quality. So whether you're receiving it or delivering it, it's a winner. And so, yeah, that's my brief hit about it, really. So thank you, Jason, for all your introduction, and happy to take any questions around it as well.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Marie. And yes, you touched on something which has always been one of the most fascinating experiences I have found in the delivery of Shiatsu, is that when you step into the treatment space, when you connect with your client, when you center yourself and you become mindfully present in your body, which is a muscle that we practice and we develop through the course of the training, you walk out of that space, you walk out of that time feeling refreshed, feeling centered in yourself. it doesn't become work. It becomes a healing session for yourself in many ways, at the same time as you're providing and holding that space for your clients. It's just one of the beautiful things about the world of Shiatsu. And from my slightly biased perspective, I do believe that it is something that we need more of in this world, that we need more people engaging in connection and healthy, supportive, therapeutic touch, because touch is one of our fundamental needs. It calms our nervous system. It helps us to grow socially. It helps us to grow physically. It strengthens our immune system. And so having more people who are bringing Shiatsu, whether that's as a professional Shiatsu practitioner or just bringing it to support their family and their friends, I think we need more of it. I'm biased, of course. So I would love to open the floor for all of you to please unmute yourself and bring any questions that you have, any questions about Shiatsu, any questions you might have for Marie or for myself about what it's like working as a Shiatsu therapist, questions for me about the structure or the study options that are open to you. The floor is yours as the participant. So please, if you have a question, unmute yourself and ask away. And if you do choose to, I'd love if we can see you on the video, because it's always nice to see who we're talking to. Don't see anyone jumping off mute at the moment. Either that means that I've done a really good job of answering all of your questions so far, or they're still percolating in the backdrop for you. You're still considering.
Jason, there was another couple of things I was thinking about, and partly triggered by someone had written a question in there, and the sense of community. Now, obviously in Melbourne, we've had a very challenging 3 or 4 years with lockdowns. And what we found as a Shiatsu community is that we learnt to do what most people did and connect online. And we even found that we could actually do self-Shiatsu, teach each other Shiatsu. We learnt with students that we could achieve a lot in the online space. Now, it's of course much more preferable to be together face to face, but it strengthened a sense of community. And I think that's an important point to bring to this forum, is that what Shiatsu brings is collegiality and community. And when there is division in society, which there is, then a sense of a shared understanding about yin and yang, diversity, acknowledging that there are many ways of seeing things, but that's what East Asian medicine provides. It's based in the philosophical practices of Buddhism, Taoism, and even connecting back to Hinduism and the deep traditional practices. So it provides people within the training those foundation practices to come back to themselves. And so self-care, self-cultivation, and then the sense of connecting with community is probably also the extra benefit of what is unique about the Australian Shiatsu College.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you for that contribution. You're right. Yes, it does have such a beautiful wealth of information. Now, Boris, I noticed you came off mute there. Did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Yeah, look, I actually looked into doing Shiatsu probably 20 years ago. I was doing a lot of yoga and became an instructor there. My teacher said that there was actually, look, I've had 2 knee reconstructions on the same knee, and I am somewhat limited by flexibility. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I am limited a little bit in flexibility. I'm back doing yoga now, but yeah, look, somebody said that a lot of it was floor work and that I might struggle with the bent knee. And sitting in those sorts of poses. I'm curious as to find out whether there's an adaptation or whether that is indeed the case, that I might struggle.
Shall I talk into that, having practiced for 35 years?
I was about to ask you, Marie, yes.
Yeah, look, Jason mentioned being able to do it on a table. There's also chair shiatsu, and a couple of weeks ago I introduced that to the student, and I've learned to adapt in many ways, having worked with senior citizens. And so I've gone into nursing homes working on beds. So over the years, we have trained with people who end up, even in the middle of the training, having to have knee reconstructions or having to have surgery. And it's always about self-care. So they learn to modify. Look, there is a basic, the basic hands-on training is on a futon on the floor. And so that can't be avoided. It's not taught on a table. So it is very basic at that level. Adjustments can be made for short periods of time. Tables, there are up and down tables, there are low shiatsu tables. They can be used, but in essence, you do need to know that you can move around on the floor. Otherwise, it's not shiatsu, really. It's fairly basic.
I'd imagine that'd be the case, yeah, and adapting and creating your own style and learning to be your own teacher as well.
Yeah. And you've done, and I think I remember you from in the past, Boris. I saw your name and I thought I remembered your name. And, again, the classical that is taught as a separate subject, which uses more thumbs, certainly can be applied on a table if people are doing massage therapy. But if you're learning the Zen, there needs to be a sense of being able to be on the floor, but you can use bolsters and cushions. You don't have to sit in the traditional knees bent Caesar position all the time. People nowadays, a lot of people have tight, hamstrings and pillows to modify. So that's okay. But you need to, like yoga, be able to move around the floor.
I've lost.
Sorry, Marie, I think you're cutting in and out there. But yes, as Marie was discussing, there's a certain requirement within the initial training, which we do a lot of the beginning work on a mat, on a futon, on the floor, and it is in some ways one of those things that people kind of have to explore within the capacity of their own body. You can get a sense beforehand of what it feels like if you were to crawl around on a carpeted wooden floor and how that might affect your knees. But there is absolutely a lot of ways that the techniques become adapted and adaptable as you progress and you go through the course. I know when I was studying Shiatsu, I was doing a bit of part-time work with Western remedial massage, and I would be integrating it within my work on the table and using the philosophies and the principles. I don't feel that I was giving a complete Zen Shiatsu treatment not being on a futon on the floor, but I was able to utilize a lot of what I was learning and bring that into my treatments to enhance my understanding of the body, my use of body weight, my application of pressure. I know that's a bit of a yes and no answer to you. It's not a clear answer, perhaps. Does that sort of address where we sit?
Well, for me, you're asking. Yes. Well, look, I'm constantly working on my stuff anyway, and so and I guess that, you were saying that you adopted some of your Western stuff, so I guess that becomes then a holistic approach, and you're using your stuff to the best of your ability. So, I'm good with that. Yeah. And I'm getting a bit older now, so it's like I wish I had pursued it 20 years ago. Still.
Look, we have a wide range of age groups that join us within training, and as I said, for many students as well, they begin to find new avenues of health and restoration appearing for them as they become to understand their own body and how to use and move their own body within the space. And for some of those, they do find that it is too challenging for them. And then, of course, you know, they make a choice from there as to whether continuation is the right pathway or not. But it's a bit hard to say exactly until really you get on there on the futon and you start to explore it to give you a direct answer. But I'd suggest, you know, spending 15 minutes crawling on the floor, hopefully not on a concrete floor, would start to give you a little bit of an idea of what some of those parameters might be for you personally.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Tony, I noticed that you had a question as well. Is that right? Would you like to join us for a question there, Tony? So, Tony, if you're speaking, you're on mute.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for having us on this Zoom. It's quite a sensitive question, I would say. I've put it in the chat. There are certain bodies and certain associations that we would be affiliated if we were to become practicing in the public, there seems to be quite a bit of a disappointment in some regards with some practitioners in various modalities as to the support that they may thought that they might have gotten in the last 3 years, and that public slash private sort of partnership, if you like, or moving between the two realms, it sort of questions my motives as to whether I would actually move forward. We're quite in a transitional period at the moment, and I'm not sure what the consensus is with current practitioners and up and coming practitioners, because it can motivate some to step away from even considering.
Mm-hmm. So sorry, I'm not sure what's your question within that space.
Well, my question is, I'll simplify it. What sort of protections do up and coming practitioners have from global medical tyranny?
I'm not quite sure how to answer that, to be honest with you, Tony. That's quite a big question, that one. What I will say is that the associations are there as a collective with a lot more power than the individual practitioner has when it comes to lobbying for access and for the right to practice. I worked closely with a lot of the associations, both in my work as the director of the Shiatsu College and for the Shiatsu profession, but also as an acupuncturist myself, working with groups such as STAR, ATMS, ANTA, and ACMA. And those associations are the associations that would be lobbying the government. So in the scenario of what we have experienced in Melbourne, where we experienced lockdowns and where we experienced restriction of practice for many practitioners of different modalities, without the interface of those associations, it was very difficult to get the direct ear of the government and to get a direct line to the government. I was fairly successful in some ways, but having associations who have a stronger voice and have more direct lines of contact to enable the ability and the right to practice during those lockdowns, during those places, to help the profession understand what is the definition from a governmental perspective of Shiatsu as a practice, whether it was a remedial massage, whether it was a beauty therapy, etc., and therefore defining within what parameters we could practice and consult clients within those spaces. So I don't know if immunity is quite the right word, but they are a strong voice for the industry and for the collective of practitioners to support their right and ability to work and to explore that interface with the government. I don't know if that quite answers your question, Tony, but that's probably the best answer I can provide for you. Does that, do you feel like that's at least somewhat addressed it?
It kind of addresses it, but it doesn't really answer it, because I'm seeing this across the board, across various not only modalities in complementary medicine, but also other vocational categories as well. I come from a technical, like audio visual background, amongst others, and I'm seeing the same thing where unions that once had a voice pretty much have zero voice at the moment, and it seems to me everyone is basically sold out to Henry Kissinger himself, or the devil that smells in sulfur.
Yeah, so this is perhaps a larger can of worms that might be here when we talk about our studies and the direction of where we sit within society and governmental intervention. But yes, that's perhaps the best answer I can provide for you at this stage, Tony, in regards to that question. So thank you.
Cheers.
Did anyone else have any questions they would like to ask at this point? Anything in relation to Shiatsu or what that looks like, or in terms of practice, in terms of study? Is there anything anyone would like to know at the moment? Not seeing any hands raising there. Okay, well, if there is no questions at this stage, then I might call an end to the meeting. And firstly, I will thank everyone for your time and your presence today, and coming online to learn a little bit more about Shiatsu and a little bit more about the study process. So some of you may have questions that will arise over the next couple of days. Sorry, excuse me, or a couple of minutes even. Please feel free to contact us at the college. Obviously, it's the weekend and I won't be responding to emails till Monday, but do email us, do give us a call. If you would like to explore more specifically of what the study of Shiatsu might look like for you, what your options are in regards to the recognition of prior learning, in regards to pathways of study now and in the future, then I highly encourage you, and I'll pop the link in the chat here again for you, to book an enrollment interview. And within that space, we'll spend an hour answering all of your individual personal questions about it, and working through that enrollment process to help facilitate your journey into oriental therapies. So I've just popped that link up in the thing there. You can just book a space online, and we'll just have a little Zoom meeting and discuss what it looks like for you. So yes, thank you once again, everyone, for your presence. I really do appreciate you all being here. For those who are tuning in later, of course, reach out and let us know the questions that you might have in regards to study. So thank you. I hope you will all enjoy the rest of your weekend, whatever that may be. And I look forward to connecting with you all in the very, very near future. So thank you.